The following is a study guide for the Activity Coordinator Fall Prevention Certification exam, and while not every question is specifically stated in this guide, all the information covered in this exam is discussed and explained. In other words, you must have a good understanding of the information presented because I will not simply teach the test. So, if you're ready, let's get started. There are two categories that encompass all reasons for falls. They are environmental and physiological. These two categories are easy to remember. Environmental is considered any condition outside the skin, and physiological is skin and in, or any reason for falling having to do with the body. Some of the environmental reasons for falls are wet floors, clutter, improperly lit rooms and hallways, different floor surfaces, cracked, chipped, or broken floor tiles, icy sidewalks, torn carpets, new shoes, tight clothing, crowded hallways, or maybe electrical cords on the floor. Staff should always be on the lookout for anything that might remotely cause a senior to fall and make a verbal report to a supervisor or the administrator. Let's look more closely at some physiological reasons for falls. Poor eyesight is a two-headed serpent. Not only can't the residents see very well, but because of that, they typically walk lean forward at the waist and lowered head in an effort to see what's on the floor in front of them. Because of poor perception, they miss how the surface of the floor might change heights, causing them to trip or stutter step. Along with poor eyesight, older folks have a reduced ability to sort out and make sense of movement and distractions. Walking in a crowd with all the heads bobbing up and down and the bodies swaying back and forth is like floating on rough water and can bring on vertigo, which could lead to falling. Scar tissue from prior injuries can be found on any tissue in the body, including skin and internal organs. Scar tissue will result from cuts, disease, and surgery once the wound has gone through the healing process. You see, it's the body's way to heal itself since it can't recreate healthy skin or tissue. During the healing process, the body puts new fibers together that aren't as functional as the original tissue was. These new fibers are thicker, paler, and denser because less blood gets to that area. Even though this tissue takes the place of the old damaged tissue, it's limited in the blood supply, function, movement, and feeling. Injuries are just a fact of life. I mean, from children learning to walk to childbearing and accidents, war, job-related accidents, all the way to sports, people are gonna get hurt. When they do, the body will do its best to heal and restore. It does so through the creation of scar tissue. This tissue surrounds the original injury site and acts as an internal splint, which limits future movement so that the original injury has less chance of being re-injured. In our population, this scar tissue and restricted movement make it more likely for a fall to occur. And if a fall does present itself, scar tissue makes our folks less likely to fight off a fall and regain their balance. Senior citizens have a declining ability to concentrate. Declining ability to concentrate specifically deals with the ability to perceive, remember, and think. Most studies indicate that people are at their best when they're in their 30s and 40s. The effects of aging don't significantly impact cognitive ability until the age of 70 or more. And one study found that by the age of 81, up to 40% of the participants had a significant decline in their mental ability. Fluid intelligence deals with how well we process new information. It's how we think and reason, and it includes the speed with which the information can be processed by the brain. This process includes how well that information goes into memory. There have been many studies that have shown that fluid intelligence is more likely to decline with age than the information that's already gone into long-term memory. Tasks and well-practiced skills are generally not affected by age, but complex tasks that require taking in new information and analyzing it may be more difficult. Researchers tend to believe that this difficulty is due to the deficits that occur in attention, speed of processing, and memory. Attention is the ability to focus on certain bits of information and decide whether to process it further. Researchers have found that many senior adults have an increased difficulty in processing between what's relevant and irrelevant to perform a given task. Decreased cognitive ability and slower processing speeds have also been linked to a decline in motor function. Decreased focus equals increased distraction. It's with this increase in distraction and decrease in motor function that our population has a greater degree of falls, given all the other factors that we've already discussed.